Very good morning to one and all. Respected Professor Subramanian sir, Mr. Shantanu, Senior Faculty Member of the Judicial Academy, Mr. Sarfaraz, Deputy Director, the faculty members of the CMR Legal Studies, the students, my dear friends. Today I am very happy and delighted to share my thoughts on today's topic, that is journey to Judgeship. Sir, being myself a judge and served in judiciary for nearly 31 years, I am very fascinated to share my experience and thoughts. Sir, before that I congratulate this institution being one of the 6 best colleges in the country. Recently released report shows this CMR college is the 6th top college, private college among the private colleges in India. So it is only because of the hard work and efforts made by your good self and your team of faculties, you have taken this institution to such a height. And I have seen over the years the activities carried out in this law school, which definitely benefit the students excel in this legal field. So friends, first of all I congratulate all of you for choosing this legal profession, that is a law course. Why I congratulate you? Because there are other degrees also. I am not undermining them. But what is the importance of doing the law degree? And how it will take your journey to Judgeship. Journey means it is transformation of a state of mind from a student, from a degree holder to a Judgeship. Judgeship is nothing but a post of a judge or a judicial officer. Friends, I may not tell you, I think you might have already heard, because if you see the history, the great leaders of our country, including Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. Ambedkar, Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, almost all of them, they were the lawyers. They were in the forefront of the freedom struggle. They are the leaders. That is why I will call you as a future leaders of this society. Today's caption shows that how you have to perform your journey to Judgeship. Because friends, now in view of this globalization, development of science, particularly the use of information technology and artificial intelligence, now wide scope is there for legal students, law students. Earlier when we joined the law, of course, I completed law in the year 1984, practically about 41 years back. 41 years back. Professor Subramanian was my teacher and he was teaching us international law. And I am very fortunate to be a student of sir, and I am very fortunate to again share the dais with sir. During those days, you might have already heard some of the lectures telling you that if you are not getting any course, engineering or medical, then they used to join the law. But it's not in my case, because my father was an advocate. He insisted me to join, though I did BSc, I wanted to join MSc. He told me to do LLB. So only by choice I did my LLB, not by any other alternative. But now you have no other option. Now you are joining the LLB with the intention to do law only. It's a 5 years course. Earlier it was only 3 years course. And most of the colleges are either in the morning or in the evening. And attendance in private colleges is not compulsory. Students hardly used to appear for classes. It's only the University Law College. Sir knows it. Our principal was Professor Rajappa, very strict principal, and even he used to sit in front of the college after the starting hours of the college was started. He will never allow any student to enter the college after the college hours. So that kind of principle was there. Now it's not like that. The scenery has changed because of the globalization. Once you complete LLB and appear for this bar council examination, you are entitled to practice. You are entitled to practice in various fields of law. Not necessarily that you should become an advocate only. During those days, there were very limited options, limited opportunities. Now it's not like that. Now vast field is there. You can practice as a civil lawyer, criminal lawyer, civil court, criminal courts, district courts, sessions court, high court, supreme court, anywhere you can practice. You can practice in different subjects. You can practice on, become an expert in tax matters, become an expert in motor vehicle accident cases, become experts in company matters. And now it's not only practicing advocate. You can also join the government as a law officer, government advocate. You can become solicitors, additional solicitor general. You can join the firms. Law firms are there now, very attractive firms. You can do work as a law officer in the company also. You can become an advisor to universities. You can specialize in one field. Maybe you are a civil expert, criminal expert, cooperative society, insurance, constitutional expert, tax expert. Like as doctors are there nowadays, you can also become expert in one field. Then there are other career opportunities also for the student who completes LLB. You can act as a counselor in the family courts. You can be a mediator. You can be an arbitrator. Now ADR has come, it has opened again new gate. So you can even be work in the legal service authority. You can do drafting. There are drafting experts, some advocates, they are very experts in drafting only. Documentation. That's also very attractive fields. You can draft commercial contracts, memorandum of association, article of association, big companies are there. Now, this real estate has become boom and they are now drafting these joint development agreements. You can become an expert in drafting also, property matters. You can do research, you can do master degrees, you can do PhD, become professor, academician. So many options are there now. It was not there when we completed LLB, it was not there. Apart from this, if you are a degree holder, you can appear for competitive examination conducted by State Public Service Commission and Union Public Service Commission. Become a KS officer, DSP, IPS, IAS, IFS. You can do that also. So, wide opportunities are there once you complete LLB degree. But friends, you must remember, if you study any degree, you can become IAS officer or IPS officer, or if you study engineering, you can become an engineer, doctor, you can become doctor. But to become a judge, you must be a law graduate. The other graduates, even law graduate can become IAS officer, IPS officer, he can work, he can become a parliamentarian, he can contest the election, he can enter the legislative assembly, council. But to become a judge, it's only a law degree. You must possess a law degree. So without law degree, you cannot become a judge. That is the very important thing. Why I congratulate you for choosing this law as a course. So I told you there are various professions, various opportunities for you. But friends, today I am here to tell you about the journey of judges. Why this profession, the legal profession is called as a noble profession, but to function as a judge, in my opinion, it is a divine profession. It's not ordinary thing to become a judge or to discharge the duties as a judge. It's a divine function. Friends, this is an amazing field. And day in and day out you hear in the newspaper and read in the news channels how the courts are playing important role protecting the life and liberty of the citizens of this country. Every day you come across some of the other decisions of the High Court or the Supreme Court, how the court have intervened and protected the life and liberty of the citizens of this country. So without the courts and rule of law, no one can survive in this country. So that is why I told you that becoming a judge is a divine function. When I talk about becoming a judge, I have to share my experience because I am in the legal field for nearly more than 41 years. I completed LLB in 1984 and practiced for 8 years and served as a judicial officer, civil judge, senior civil judge, district judge, then High Court judge. I was very fortunate to work in very different fields of law when I was a judge. I worked in family courts, I worked in industrial tribunal, I worked in administrative side, I worked in academy, I was a trade mediator. God was very kind to me and I got an opportunity to work in various fields of law, which has given me a good new exposure. Because friends, I studied LLB, I studied SSC in Kannada medium. I never thought that one day I will become a High Court judge. I never dreamt also. When I joined a judiciary as a Munsi in 1992. And this 31 years of my experience, it fascinated me. Friends, I have enjoyed this profession of a judge and I felt I am very intellectually challenged and stimulated. This choosing the career as a judge provides opportunity to the lost graduates to become a part of the system that help them in serving the nation in a better manner. The judiciary in India, as you know, it performs very important roles and its functions are very important. They do not confine to traditional litigations or civil and criminal law, and it is a protector of life and liberty. So it makes a very respectable than other two organs of the democracy, that is executive and legislature. Why it is respected? It's like a check on the, it's not check actually, it's a judicial review of every act done by either executive or the legislature. So that power is given to the judge only. So that is why I told you this is a very important field and respected field when compared to other two organs of the democracy. The service of a judge is essentially not a service of employment. Because the Supreme Court in All India Judges Association gets held that judges are not the employees like other employees. They are not employees in the strict sense. They discharge divine functions. That is why they are not considered as employees. It's not an employment. It is only the duty which is constantly done under the public gaze, because you see the judges, how they function. They function always in open court. They hear the arguments, they record the evidence, they pass orders. Nowadays, you are very fortunate, you have got YouTubes. You can watch live proceedings of the Supreme Court of India, Court Hall, Chief Justice Court Hall. You can watch the Constitutional Bench hearing the matters, the great lawyers arguing the matters. That advantage you have got. Those days we never had such an opportunities. Whoever argues case in our area, who is a senior, we used to hear him and we used to follow them. Now it's not like that. You can hear, you have got so many facilities now. You can hear the lectures of this Judgeship only from so many persons. Eminent scholars, Supreme Court judges, High Court judges, very eminent advocates, delivering lectures on this subject. You are very fortunate. That's why I told you, compared to the earlier generation, the present generation are very fortunate. Provided you use that opportunity and you use that availability of the resource very effectively. The judges, as I told you, they function in the public gaze only. This is the only office. We will not sit in the chamber and pass orders or write something like that or nothing in chamber. It's only everything is in open court. Even after court hours, before court hours, judges study the files, give dictation. So their work is not confined to only court hours. Most of the people do not know judges enjoy the holidays, judges enjoy the vacation. It's all wrong conception. Judges don't have the time, they are judges 24/7. They have to work hard to discharge their divine function. They have to, even in home office, they have to study, during vacation, they have to study very complicated cases. So it is a very divine function one has to discharge. So how one has to become a judge? Is there any course? To become an engineer, there is engineering course. To become a doctor, there is a medical course. There is no course like becoming a judge course. You have to study difficulty. Other options are there. There is no course. Or there is no school or colleges where you can study a judge course and become a judge. No, it's not like that. It's only you have to become a judge as provided in the Constitution. The Constitution of India provides for appointment of judges. There are three types of judges. There is a Union Judiciary, we call it. Article 124 of the Constitution of India deals with the appointment of judges to the Supreme Court. It's the highest court. Then Article 214 of the Constitution of India deals with the appointment of High Court judges and the establishment of the High Courts. Then Article 233 deals with the appointment of district judges and other judicial officers. So judges will be appointed under the Constitution as per the article, and in a state there is a state judiciary. State judiciary consists of High Court judges, district judges, senior civil judges, civil judges. After the report of Hon'ble Justice Shetty Commission, the entire nomenclature of the judges in this country are made uniform. Earlier they were called as a different district municipal magistrate, second magistrate, third magistrate. In different states they were practiced. But now issue of this Justice Shetty Commission report, which is accepted by the Supreme Court, there is a uniform nomenclature. Civil judge, senior civil judge, district judge, High Court judge, Supreme Court judge. Now in view of this project, there are rules framed by the High Courts and also the government. recruitment rules you can follow. The academy faculty members will inform you. You might also write in the High Court website and calling for the applications for the civil judge post, district judge post. There are methods of recruitment. Rules are there. As per that rules, the judges will be recruited. As the rule stands today, after completing LLB, you can directly appear for exams of the civil judge. Earlier, when we were practicing, there was a minimum period of 4 years practice. The eligibility criteria was 4 years. You must have practiced as an advocate for minimum 4 years for appearance of the exam for Munsi. At that time, it was a Munsi. Now it's not there. Now that gap is removed in view of the Justice Commission report. Recently, some IA was filed. I think because of the Gujarat High Court notification, some IA is filed in the Supreme Court and Supreme Court has heard that matter and matter is resolved. So the Karnataka High Court has now stopped the recruitment of civil judges. Now they have stopped for the time being. It is kept in abeyance. Otherwise, that cap is not there. So young students at the age of, I have seen some very young officers at the age of 24 becoming judges. Imagine what length of service they have. 60 years is the retirement as on today. I don't know what will happen in future. It may be increased. Earlier it was 55, it was raised to 58, then 60. For High Court judges it is 62, for Supreme Court judges it is 65. So, what length of service you have got? You know that examination they will tell you there will be preliminary examination, main examination, then there will be viva, then the reservation, other things are there, then you will be selected. This is for civil judge. Similarly, there is an exam for district judge also. Earlier it was not there. During those days, to become a Munsi, that is civil judge, there was an exam and there was a viva also. For district judge, there was no written examination at that time. It was introduced only in the year 98. Earlier it was not there. Only they will be interviewed. District judges, they will recommend their name in their district, some good advocates practicing for them. They will be interviewed and they will be selected. For High Court judges, no exam, no interview. Directly they will be selected as a High Court judge. But here for district judge now, of course, Constitution itself mandates you must have practiced for a period of 7 years as an advocate. But now, in view of the judgment of the Supreme Court, you must have attained minimum age of 35 years. 35 years for being appointed as a district judge. So that year. Then for a High Court judge, as I told you, only based on the performance, the senior judges consisting of chief judges and 2 senior most judges, which we call them as a collegium. You might have heard about the collegium in the Supreme Court. Like that, there is a collegium in the High Court also. They will select the judges and recommend for the elevation. So this is the procedural aspect in detail. I am not dealing with them. But friends, I tell you, though there are hierarchy in courts, as I told you, it's like a civil judge, senior civil judge, district judge, High Court, Supreme Court judge. It's only in a hierarchy. But the work one does is the same. What is that work? It is dispensation of justice. Whether it is a civil judge, a High Court judge, or a Supreme Court judge, all do the same thing, that is discharging the function of a divine function of a giving justice. That is dispensation of justice in accordance with law. So you are independent. Simply because you are a civil judge or a senior civil judge or a district judge, you are not subordinate or now that word is subordinate is also removed from our High Court. When Justice Oak, the present Supreme Court judge who was our Chief Justice, he just removed that word subordinate. Nobody is subordinate to anybody. It's only the hierarchy of the courts. Courts are there, civil judge courts are there. They are the trial courts. He called them as a trial court. They are the trial judges. They are not the subordinate judges. Nobody is subordinate. In judiciary, there is no subordination at all. It's only the hierarchy of courts. So you are under the administrative control of the High Court, right? Not subordinate to anybody. There is no subordination in judiciary at all. You are independent in your court. Nobody will interfere in your work. Take it from me, I served as a judge for nearly 32 years. Not a single person interfered in my judicial work. I am telling you with full conviction and courage, true to my conscience. Nobody has interfered in me. I discharge my function true to my conscience. It's not, that's why I told you it is a divine function. It's a very noble function. In other fields, you might have seen other officers, government officers, revenue officers, police officers, under what pressure they will work. Here it is nothing. It's everything is in your hand. You are the master of your courts. You can decide the case according to your choice. Article of choice means it should be in accordance with law, supported by reasons. So why I stress more importance on becoming a judge is that, friends, you know the history. Earlier, the king used to administer the justice. You might have heard there is a court hall of the king, and if anybody does any mistake or there is some crime committed, will be brought to that court hall of the king, and he used to give punishment or whatever justice. He used to do justice. Now that function is given to the judges. So that is why I again emphasize that is a divine function you are doing. Don't think that you are the king simply because king was doing justice. Don't be under the illusion that you are a king. No, you are not a king. Only for that seat it is respected. That seat of justice, not to the person who sits on it. Whoever it may be, A or B or Z. It is the seat of justice that is respected. And you know, the session judge has got a power to impose the punishment to the extent of death penalty, rarest of rare cases. Only God can take the life. Next to God, it is only the session judge who has got power, who is authorized by the law to impose a punishment of death. Of course, subject to certain criteria given by the Supreme Court as a rarest of rare case criteria. So which officer or which organ of the state has got such a power? It is only the session judge who has got a power to impose a death penalty. So think about the enormous power the judges have and what function they are doing. So why I am insisting upon you to take the judicial office is it is nothing but a judicial office is essentially a public trust. It's a trust by the people. We call it as the Constitution starts with the word, we the people of India. We the people. So we the people in the judiciary stands on the bedrock of its ability to dispense fearless and impartial justice. Especially the trial court judge, the trial judges, they are called as the glittering face of the judicial edifice, which symbolize the temple of justice. The common man depends upon the judiciary for getting justice. Without the security of rights and freedoms guaranteed by the Constitution, they cannot really hope to carry that job. Friends, it is not that once you become a civil judge or a district judge, you will not go to higher courts or a Supreme Court like that. It's not like that. I myself is the example. I joined at a municipal and I became High Court judge. I will give you some instances where the judges who have joined as a municipal become the Supreme Court judges. For example, just few instances I will give you. Justice Desai Palekar. He is from Maharashtra Judicial Service. He joined as a municipal magistrate then promoted, then went to become a judge of the Bombay High Court. Then again, ultimately, he had on the bench of the Supreme Court. Then Justice Prafulla Chandra Pant joined judicial service as a municipal civil judge in UP Judicial Service. In 2017, he retired as a judge of the Supreme Court of India. And friends, you might have heard Justice A.M. Mamadi. Justice A.M. Mamadi joined as a district judge in the Gujarat Judicial Service. And you know, he rose to become a Chief Justice of India. He joined as a district judge. He became a Chief Justice of India. Justice K.T. Thomas, of course, who has totally rewritten the criminal jurisprudence along with Justice Sethi. Earlier it was a pro-abuse, now it is pro-prosecution. He came from district judiciary from Kerala, rose to become one of the great judges of the Supreme Court. Apart from them, the very most respected Judge, Justice H.R. Khanna. I have heard that this is only the photo of Justice H.R. Khanna is there in the Supreme Court, photo number 1. There in Supreme Court there are no photos of any other judge, it's only the great Judge H.R. Khanna. I do not say you, I do not elaborate on what is the importance of Justice H.R. Khanna. He is one of the greatest judges this country has seen. He joined as a district judge in Delhi Judicial Service. Become High Court judge, Supreme Court judge. Of course, he sacrificed his chief judgeship because of some incidents, because of his judgment. You read his books and you come to know. So why I am telling you friends, simply because you join as a civil judge or a district judge, you may not go to the High Court or the Supreme Court. It's not like that. There are instances. There are so many instances. Now there is no practice. Cap is not there. You can become a young judge in as the age of 24, 25. So don't be under the impression that once you join judiciary at the lowest level, you don't have any opportunity. Even now the rules are amended after Justice Sethi Commission report. If you are a civil judge and promoted then as a senior civil judge, if you serve as a senior civil judge for 5 years, then you can appear for a limited competitive examination to become a district judge out of turn on merits. So to that exam only I got promotion as a district judge. By passing the 3 batches, I came above the 3 batches. So it's not that things are changing, friends. It's not that judiciary is there as it was. It is changing. You now hear about the creation of this All India Judicial Service. Talks are going on, discussions are going on, articles are coming. We don't know what will happen in the future. The things may again change or may not change. But as the things stood now, there got a lot of opportunity to become a district judge at the young age itself. Provided that certain limits are there, certain percentage, earlier it was at 25%, now it is reduced to 10%. Now again I decided in the Supreme Court to increase it. Then 50%, 65% is by promotion, then 10% by this out of turn, then 25% direct districts and out of 100 districts. That is the rules of Karnataka recruitment rules. I think I am correct, Mr. Nalva. I think rules are not changed now because I just. So friends, it all depends upon how you work, how you succeed. There is always reward for merit. There is no substitute for hard work. How you work as a judge, how you discharge your function, how you perform your duty. You are the master of your own field. There is a saying, what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. Everything is in your hand. The time is given to everybody, same time, 24 hours, whether it is to the Elon Musk or Bill Gates or a beggar. Everybody has got 24 hours. But how he will use that time and how he will excel in his life depends upon you. You are the master of your fate. Like the Judgeship also, how you work, how you discharge your function, how you perform your duties, that is important. And only it is your hard work, honesty, integrity that will take the heights in your career. No godfather, nothing, no caste, creed, no political affinity, nothing will take you anywhere. On the other hand, they are very dangerous things, and it's only your devotion to duty that will take you. Of course, after you become a judge, you are bound to know so many things. Academy will teach you. At least you must know the procedural laws. Now also you are studying CPC and other things, CRPC and other procedural aspect, because you are bound to follow the procedure. And you must know a little about the substantial law also. Of course, nobody knows all laws in this country. There are so many laws. Nobody knows all the laws. Only whenever a case comes, we study that legal aspects, study the provision of law, and you must know how to apply the law to a given set of facts and case. That robust common sense you must have and you must develop it to become a successful judge. And you must, there are other arts also. When if you become a judge, the academy will teach you what are the skills to become a good judge, how you must hear the things, how you have to marshal the facts, how you have to arrive at a decision, and how you have to dispose of your matters or interim matters. They will also teach you administrative skills like your court management, time management, board management, registry management, because they are also very important. But you have to have certain judicial ethics once you become a judge, how you should behave, both inside court and outside court. Because you will be watched by everybody. Though you have two eyes, the person sitting in front of you will be watching you, public are watching you. Nowadays, YouTubes are there, everybody will be watching you. High Court, Supreme Court can also watch your proceedings. So, you are a judge both inside and outside. Nowadays, wherever you go, there are CCTVs. People have got mobile cameras, everything. They capture you wherever you are thrown in some unwanted place. Immediately, a matter will be sent to the Register of Vigilance at the High Court. So, once you become judge, you are a judge both inside and outside the court. But don't be under the impression that judge means always judge only. Very strictly, like this case you must hold nothing like to be free. But only the behavior aspect of the judge you must cultivate both inside and outside. It's not like you are living in a ivory towers. You must understand what is the needs of the society, why the people will come in. The common people will come in. If you are a trial court judges, people will come with so many problems. Family problems, disputes, brothers dispute, party, property dispute, intellectual property dispute, so many things are there. They will come here with a hope. And with my experience, I state that still the people of this country have got some respect for the judiciary compared to other two organs of the state, which legislature and executive. Still they have got a faith. It's only the faith of the public which has protected the judiciary till today. I don't know what will happen in future, but as it is, the people respect the judiciary. They accept whatever verdict you give. They gave their case to you, and whatever judgment you give, if it is not challenged, it will be a final as good as a Supreme Court judgment. Any judgment, whether it is a right or wrong, if it is not challenged, or if it is not set aside, it will be a judgment like Supreme Court. It's a final judgment as far as the parties to that litigations are concerned, it will be fine. And two important quality of judge, because they are not qualities, they must be with every person. They are the honesty and integrity. They are fundamental prerequisite for to become a judge. They are not negotiable at all. If your integrity is fake, you will be in danger. In judiciary, if you keep one step wrong, you will be gone for forever. Of course, it all depends on the nature of the magnitude of the lapses you have committed. So that is why John Marshall, you might have heard, has said the power of the judiciary lies not in deciding cases, not in imposing sentences, not in punishing, but in the trust, faith and confidence the common man has. It is the trust and the faith the common man has. You should not only be honest, but you must be seen to be honest. You might have heard, justice must not only be done, must be seen to be done. Julius Caesar's wife must be beyond suspicion, you are seeing. You might have heard, hey, I am a very honest person, I will do anything, I can do anything, I am discharging my duty correctly. What is wrong in it? No. You must not only discharge your duty honestly, but it must be seen to be done. And for that, what you have to do? Of course, once you become a judge, all those ethics and everything will be taught to you. And the service conditions, of course, is another thing. When we joined the judiciary, the service conditions were very poor. Nobody encourages to go to judiciary at that time because of the service conditions, salaries, no house. Nobody wants to come to Bengaluru at that time. No, we have to carry the basis. Getting houses on rent is difficult. Now, in view of this Justice Safety Commission report, First Commission, Second Commission, Third Commission, of course, recently, now these officers are very fortunate. They came only after Justice Safety Commission is implemented. But when we joined, my salary was, I'll tell you, 2,375. Now they are very big. For servant allowance, home allowance, more than 10,000 rupees. And no quarters, nothing, rented building, hardly some few HRA, that would depend upon the taluka players or district players or the state capital. But things have changed totally. We joined a service as a civil judge. I am told that the present basic itself is 77,000 plus DA 52%. We added 52%. It will be more than 1,30,000 and odd. Which profession do you join as an engineer? Of course, in IIM and some top engineering college, you get a good. That also. I come to that allowance. So, you will get highly 25 to 30,000, 40,000 if you join in the engineering course. As Mr. Alva told, apart from this salary, you have got allowances, rent-free quarters. Earlier there were no quarters, very old quarters, PWD quarters, old doors with latches, hanging. We stayed all those. Nowadays they are very fortunate. They have got very big bungalows with well-furnished dining set, TV, fridge, AC, everything is provided now. Free of cost. You need not pay for anything. Apart from that, you will get, if you are hiring a vehicle, you will get petrol allowances, monthly petrol allowances, newspaper allowances, medical fee, 100 liters for Bengaluru, 75 liters for district place. Don't be under the impression that I am making you financially attractive, but I am telling you the importance of it. Why that such a enormous salary is given when you compare it to others, IS and IPS. Salary is not so much as a crucial officer. It's a very attractive salary now. Why they are made as attractive? Because the functions are like that. So, when the salary and other things, senior civil judge, district judge, very high. Last year, 2.5 lakh if you go district judge directly. So why I am telling you, it is the public money. It's not somebody's money. It's a hard-earned public taxpayers' money. That is why the Einstein has said every day before sleeping he thinks that he has borrowed too much from the society. So we borrow so much from the society. The fellow citizens work for our well-being so much. It's not only the judges who work. There are engineers. There are scientists who have invented great things. People going to space. They are sending the orbits, studying the nature of the earth, world, developing so many technologies, developing the fine roads, tunnels, metros, aeroplane, most important, mobile phones. The whole world is in your hand now. They are all great people who invented those things. It's not that only judge function is very great and others are not important. The work of the professor, teachers like Subramanian sir, they shape your career. They are our gurus. Their work is very important. They give inspiration to us. So simply because I get a salary, some post, high salary, it is not, I am not advising you that you go better salary is there, better facilities are, go to judge. I told you why it is important to become a judge. What is the function of judge? What faith the public have got? What divine function you have to discharge? And you can do service of the society, in my opinion, and not undermining the other organs of the state or other jobs. In my opinion, when you have studied law, discharging a function as a judge gives more satisfaction. See, when sometimes we write some judgments, we give relief to the people. Sometimes we go think out of the box and try to settle the matter, give relief to both of them. So that satisfaction, no work will give. That opportunity will give. The higher you go, you will get more opportunity to do justice, not only in accordance with law, but also in the interest of public and justice. But whatever you do, it should be within the four corners of the law and rule only. So, the duty of the judge is not so easy as it means. Simply because some facilities are there, only if you are using facility and ignoring your work, you will be sent back to your profession, again, law profession. Because you will not be knowing what is the real thing between the parties. It is only the parties who know their case. What instruction they will give the advocates, they will present it before us. Neither advocate knows the real thing, nor the judge knows the real thing. It is your duty to find justice, to give justice. That is why it is said, the trial, it is the judge who is in the trial. He is on the trial. Because we don't know what is the real thing. They will put it some document, they will put it on document, they argue the matter, they say one thing, they take defense, they take one contention. So practically judge is on trial. In the trial courts, you are on trial. So you must be very careful, very meticulous, and what you do, what you deliver, it will not affect only one person. If a doctor, do something wrong with one patient, the patient will suffer. But if a judge give a verdict, it affects his entire family. So you must be very careful. Of course, there are appellate courts are there which rectify, provide equality. So friends, I already have taken a lot of your time and sir has given me only I think 45 minutes because I told my office also. That's why I told you the duty of the judge is nothing but you are seeker of the truth. Of course, truth Whether it is the truth or not, you also don't know, but you do justice in accordance to law. Because you are not a legislator, and you have to remind every day about the enormous nature of your power and function, that every case comes before you relates to some problem of a common man. It's not a case to dispose, it's not like that. It is his problem. He comes with some problem of his family, his friends, his son, his daughter, his wife, his mother, his grandson, his granddaughter, children. I've seen in family courts how the emotions are. I've seen in industry tribunal how the workers suffer, how they are victimized. I've seen in civil courts, I've seen in high courts how the people are suffering because of the lapse on the part of government agencies to implement the scheme or implement the law or apply the law in accordance with law. So friends, before concluding, I thank this CMR institution for giving me again the opportunity to share a few of my thoughts. And I am really grateful to the faculty members and the students. I once again congratulate you for having chosen the law as a career, and I give myself my own example how my journey as an advocate, then as a magistrate, took me to the High Court Judgeship. Judgeship means the judicial office. Judgeship means different cases. So before concluding, I just wish to quote one judgment of the Supreme Court. It states how a judge should be. It is delivered in the All India Judges Transfer Case. You might have heard about it. It was a case of S.P. Gupta versus Union of India, reported in the year 1982, Supreme Court, page 149. And the judgment, last page, you see that last page of the judgment, which was written by the late Justice C.S. Venkataramayana, who was the father of the present Supreme Court Justice P. Nagarjuna. He has written in the last paragraph how a judge should be. Of course, you are not judges now, but I am just giving you the insight how a judge should be. This passage was given to me when I was selected as municipal magistrate in 1992 by late Justice D.N. Krishnan. He recently passed away. Today there is a reference in the High Court in the memory of Justice D.N. Krishnan. He was one of the finest judges our High Court has seen. He rose from the cadre of municipal and he trained us in such a way. I am very grateful to his lordship today, and he gave me this last page. Till today I am having this page with me, and daily I read that page. How a judge should be. I just want to share this before concluding this. That last passage I will paragraph I will share with you. His lordship says, this is para number 1256, SP Gupta versus Union of India, page 149. It starts with a very big judgment. In case 72 at para 1256, it says, I quote, a judge should be independent of himself. A judge should be independent of himself. A judge is a human being who is bundle of passions and impulses. As a human being, you have got passions and impulses, likes and dislikes, affection and evil, hatred and contempt, and fear and recklessness. In order to be a successful judge, these elements should be curbed and kept under restraint. How it is possible? That is possible only by education, training, like in academic, education, training, continued practices, and cultivation of a sense of humility and dedication to duty. This is required not only in the judges profession, this is required in all other professions if you have to excel. These curves can neither be brought into the market nor can be injected into a human system. You cannot purchase these values, human values, honesty, integrity. You cannot pay the amount and purchase it. They are not available in market. So that is why it is said that these curves can neither be brought in the market nor injected into human system by written or unwritten laws. If these things are there, even if the protective measures provided by the Constitution and the laws go, independence of the judiciary will not suffer. If you are having all these qualities, no law is needed to protect it. Even if they go, the independence of the judiciary will be protected. But with all these measures, still a judge may not be independent. It is the inner strength of the judges alone that can save the judiciary. It is the inner strength. The life of a judge does not really call for great acts of self-denial, great act of sacrifices, but a small denial every day. If you become a judge, you don't think that you have to live a life like a saint. It's not like that. You can have a social interactions with your colleagues, friends. Only thing is, when you sit as a judge, when you wear the robe, you disrobe your relationship. You disrobe your relationship, friends and others. Once you wear a robe, you disrobe all these things. So it states, I think, the life of the judge does not really call for great acts of self-sacrifice, but it does insist upon small acts of self-denial almost a day. Then his lordship quotes a sloka from Rajwari. In Sanskrit, I just read a translation of a judge should be. It reads, I quote, "Let men trained in ethics or morality insult or praise. Let Lakshmi, that is wealth, accumulate or vanishes as she likes. Let the death comes today, after the end of Yuga. Yuga means it's a millennium. Men with discretion will not deflect from the path of rectitude. You are the men with discretion, they will not deflect from the path of rectitude. This is only an ideal. It is difficult to attain it, but every judge should make at least endeavor to set his eyes on that goal. This is what is said. Friends, once again, I thank you very much for your patient hearing.